What nonsense. Parents and children, how could they be so foolish as to trust someone so easily? Thanks to that, Laura was able to do what she needed with ease. Sure, Isla's case was a little different, since she had spent a lot of time brainwashing her, but she was still stupid, just like her parents. Then I suppose I should prepare accordingly. You will only return for today. Yes, ma'am. Ophelia, not knowing what evil Laura was up to, said goodbye to her with a smile still on her face. And Ophelia, alone, wondered with emotion what she should do. The first thing he thought was to share the good news with those who had participated in the search for Isla. Candace, who had gone all the way to the Enselkov kingdom to find the girl, Winfred, who always brought news of Isla with gratitude, and even Alexia Dexon. And I should tell my brother too. You will be happy. She still hadn't responded to the letter he sent her a while ago congratulating her on the birth of Noah. It's not that I didn't want to do it, it's just that she felt uncomfortable every time she picked up the pen, so she couldn't write a single sentence. But how surprised would her brother be if he received a response a few months later saying that his missing daughter had been found? Just imagining the expression on Isidoro's face when he received the letter made Ophelia happy and made her laugh. No, now is not the time. He had to think about what else he should prepare before Isla returned home, but he couldn't contain his excitement, so he kept laughing involuntarily. I couldn't do anything. What mother could remain calm when her daughter, whom she had longed for so much she wished she could turn back time, arrived? Ophelia stopped trying to contain the laughter that kept coming and just let it flow. I just wanted the time to pass quickly. Emperor Hiram of the Palace Empire, with a very serious expression, was deep in thought. Anyone watching him would have thought he was ruminating on matters of state. But really, I wasn't thinking about anything that serious. Tell me this, stop it. He slapped the letter from the Duke of Weishafen with his hand and grimaced. It was a letter from Ophelia, with the good news that the princess, lost for more than 10 years, had been found. Of course, the real recipient was the crown prince, who had relayed Isla's news to the dukes, but since he had an eye for detail, it seemed natural that he would have informed the emperor of the family's good fortune. So he had to tell his son. I just don't want to tell you for no reason. If anyone heard, they would laugh at him for his narrow-mindedness and his anger at his young son, but Hiram's resentment still lingered. However, it was not something that could simply be kept quiet. The news that the Duke of Weishafen was searching for his lost princess was so well known throughout the empire that few were unaware of it, and the news of the girl's return home was something that the nobles could not ignore. Even if Hiram didn't tell his son right away, Winfred would eventually find out, perhaps not long afterward. If so, it was obvious how long Winfred, who looked so much like him and had a very long tail, would remain hidden. And there was another reason. I really want to make fun of you as an Altalon. He loved playing pranks on his son, so he couldn't pass up this great opportunity. When he first heard the full story of his son, which he had kept hidden for so long, he was so shocked by the evils of his brother Byron that he could think of nothing else. But as that feeling of sadness calmed down a little, he began to understand all the changes that had occurred in his son. The first time he felt like his son had someone he liked was last fall, right after he returned from a chance meeting with Isla. He found it really suspicious that his son was acting nervous, like he was hiding something, or turning red in the face when thinking about something on his own. When Hiram realized that the person he liked was Isla, all the mysteries were instantly solved. Thus, she had the opportunity to make fun of the boy who, as a child and without knowing anything about it, had shouted that he would take her as his wife, and ask him if he was still in love with her. After thinking about it for a while, Hiram nodded as if he had already decided. Well, I have to tell him. Although he was upset that his son had broken the promise he had made to him, saying it was such an important thing, he ultimately decided that it was immature to hide such an important matter. So Hiram sent someone to the crown prince's palace to call Winfred. I didn't intend for him to come right away, but when he had time. Winfred, who had been called, ran to his father's call. Did you call, father? Seeing his son greet him with a much more charming voice than usual, he turned his head with a snort, somewhat irritated for no reason. Then Winfred, embarrassed, rubbed her father's shoulder flirtatiously. Hey, haven't you noticed yet? I'm sorry, father. I told you I'd go hunting with you twice, right? Yeah. I won't go hunting with you. So 3 times. How about we go together 3 times? Now, calm down. Mom is going to scold me again for making Dad sad. Thrice. He hadn't calculated the situation, but 3 hunts were a big profit. Although Hiram was not very fond of outdoor activities, they were sometimes necessary for his health, as he stayed home if he was not taken outside. Winfred offered to go hunting with him 3 times. You promised 3 times. Yeah. Are you free now? When did I say I was a fool? I have the prestige of an emperor. I don't get angry about things like that. Hiram was completely ignorant and made a fool of himself. From Winfred's perspective, it was a real injustice. You were a while ago. It was just when Winfred was pouting, because she couldn't bother him by saying something like that after she had just gotten over him. Hiram handed the letter to Winfred with a stern expression, as if to say, I picked it up. Read this. What is this? Curious, Winfred asked what the letter was about, but Hiram shrugged and said he would know when he read it. And Winfred's eyes widened as she read the letter. My God, Isla's back home. He couldn't believe it even after seeing it with his own eyes. As a radiant smile spread across his son's face, Hiram complained in an unnecessarily sullen voice. So good? Yes. I've missed her a lot. He said he would come see her as soon as he got back, smiling so much his cheekbones hurt the whole time. Does Isla like paintings? If I ask you to come see them with me, will you agree? Maybe you could invite her to the palace and take a walk in the gardens? Or maybe we could go to the lakeside villa together? Ah. And from now on, I will definitely take Isla to all the banquets. Winfred dreamed of doing the things she had wanted to do together when she returned. Now that he was back, he no longer had to worry about his uncle's reaction or pretend like he didn't know Isla. But that was his big mistake. Baron Herzog's old carriage, carrying Isla and Roderick, ran and ran until it reached its destination. She gazed out the window at the familiar, fragrant landscape, absorbed in the memories of her past life. The residence of the Duke of Weishafen was just beginning to come into view. I returned home. To the house where my parents and my family were waiting for me. Although the curse Byron had placed on her still bound her, she was still happy. With his mother and father by his side, there was nothing to fear. And from now on, his revenge began in earnest. He would set a trap to lure Byron. I would do it very cautiously and carefully.